Happy Sunday. This is Darlene from Darlene's Garden. Markwood Meadows in Athena, Oregon. It's been a couple days since I made a video, but I wanted to share the light at the end of my tunnel. As some of you who followed my videos might remember, and I haven't really said too much about it, I've just hinted at it several times. In June 2nd to be precise, we noticed that we had a problem in the kitchen. June 2nd is when we noticed it. The water line that goes from the water to the ice maker sprung a leak. The floor in our kitchen was made out of pressed board, and it was like spongy and wavy, and it felt like we were going to fall clear down into the ground. So we reported it to our insurance post haste. On June 17th, the work began. They got everything torn out. We didn't have to replace the upper cupboards, but the lower cupboards, they were not able to get them out without wrecking them. So all the lower cupboards came out, and for a while, this is what it looked like. Well, I haven't taken pictures all along the way. I probably should have, so that you could see the progress. But I took a picture today when we came home from church. All that we have left is for the plumber to come on Monday, tomorrow, and hook up the sink. Right now the sink is just sitting there in where it goes. And to put the dishwasher back in and get it all hooked up, and rehook up the ice maker. If it ever breaks again, I don't think we'll have the same problem, because we replaced all of that press board with regular wood. You know, the big 8x, what am I trying to say? Plywood. That's the word I'm after, with plywood. And then the flooring is vinyl plank, which I would have maybe liked something more expensive, but that was, you know, we're trying not to spend a lot more than what the insurance would cover. Although we did spend more than what the insurance would cover, because while we had everything torn apart, we decided to replumb the whole house, since everything was open for them to get under the house and do all that, so that there's less of a chance of things happening. And to top everything off, we had a leak in our roof that kind of happened right around the same time. And the insurance didn't cover that, because that was something that had been happening for a while and we didn't notice it. And so we did get that taken care of, and that wasn't a huge deal. We only had to replace one little teeny bitsy section in the roof, and not the whole roof. So it was mainly the kitchen that was the issue. So last week, the week before, they came and, let's see, the cabinets arrived on the 12th. our contractor came over on the 13th and started putting those all in. And he's very, very thorough, extremely thorough. So he measured everything. I mean, everything has to be level. It has to be perfect. There's no slipshod job to be had. He's wonderful. And I'm not just saying that because he happens to be my brother-in-law. He is actually wonderful. Everyone who has him work for them says that. Anyway, he and my sister-in-law also, his wife, who happens to be my husband's sister, she works in partnership with him. He does all the carpentry work, and she does gluing and hammering and caulking and mudding and all of those things that go along with. Anyway, they got all the cabinets put in and the top laid, and then we had to wait about a week. It was about a week for the actual top, for the cabinet tops. And we were going to order it from Home Depot, but their tops take 3 weeks to get, and we didn't want to wait 3 more weeks. So we ordered it from a local business, which that's better anyway, to spend local, buy local when you can. And so it only took about 1 week, and they came over and got the tops put in. It's just laminate, and Formica is the brand name. And that got all done, and so like I said, Monday the plumbing's going to get hooked back up, and Tuesday our contractor's coming back over, and there's one seam in the Formica that's some seam sealer's going to go on it, so that you won't even hardly know there's a seam there, and you hardly know it now. And some caulking, I don't think that's what it's called, but it goes right around. The backsplash, they made about 4 inches along the back, as backsplash made out of the same stuff that the tops are. And behind where my stove and everything is, they did, it's probably about 18 inches or so. They did that whole part of the wall between the stove and the vent thing that's above the stove, and that looks really nice. So just a little bit there, and then there's a couple of little other items in the house that he's going to help us repair, and we will be done. At some point in the near future, we're going to have a barbecue for all of our friends and family that live close to come and celebrate with us getting this all done, because it's wonderful. Stuff out of our pockets, yeah, because the insurance, even though they covered it fairly well, they certainly didn't cover all of it. It's worth it. It's going to make the house worth more. It's just a manufactured home, and now the kitchen is, at least parts of it, solid as if it were a stick-built kitchen, instead of some of the manufactured home type work that they did back in the 80s, early 80s. I think this house was built in 83, I think is when they made it. We didn't move in until 96, 97, something like that. Anyway, it's going to be, it will be helpful in the long run, because, I would say within the next 30 years, we're going to get old enough to have to move. Either die off or move away. Anyway, it will make the house easier to sell when that time comes, because it will be much more prettier. Well, anyway, I'm going to show you a picture of what it looked like today, and it won't look much different after the work that gets done on tomorrow and the next day, because that's all, it won't affect the way it looks particularly. So that's mainly what I wanted to share with you today. It was just so good to get that done. Gardening. The little baby birds are still up in the nest. I see just as I speak, the mama bird is up there. I don't know if I can get it on camera. It just doesn't show up that good on the camera. Let's see if I can zoom it in a little bit more. She's up there with them. I think that's right. Let's see if I can put my finger where I can't. You're not even seeing my finger. I was going to point to it. Anyway, she's up there with them. I would suspect they're going to be flying out of that nest just any day now, because they're getting good sized. Oh yeah, there you can kind of see them. She's feeding them. Yep. And my plants for my fall garden are looking good. They won't need to be hardened off because they're out here on the porch, and they get a good deal of sunlight later in the afternoon. And I also have a little container of microgreens growing here, and some fall garden down here. I think that's lettuce in that one row. And then over here I noticed my peas are starting to come up, and I planted a couple of rows, they're short rows, about a couple feet long, of carrots. Right in there. Roses are still pretty. The sunflower is getting taller. The petunias are still blooming. Out in front, and I'm not going to walk out there and show you my pumpkins, or I got a couple of good-sized pumpkins. They're the white kind. Oh, goodness. That oh my was because my cat was where she didn't belong. We keep the cats on a leash so that they can go a long ways out here in the yard. We just don't want them to run off. But she'd gotten off of her leash. She was out in my garden. But she meowed at me, and then she went around on the other side where she usually stays in the leash. She doesn't run off. I think she'd be okay without a leash. The other cat, not so much. She'd probably run off. But anyway, that's what my oh my was at the end. I was going to show you what the kitchen looks like today, and I didn't do it yet. So here you go. Well, that's about it for today. I liked my pastor's message this morning. Kind of a play on the words from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, Won't You Be My Neighbor? The title of the message was, Who is My Neighbor? And he gave some really good points. And I think that they posted on, if you're on Facebook, they do a Facebook Live. And it's Pendleton Free Methodist Church, if you want to go on Facebook and listen to his message. Very poignant today. I'm going to go ahead and sign off. And I know you will help rejoicing with me that my kitchen is just within a couple of days of being completely done. And such a relief. I can get back to normal. So in the meantime, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for clicking that little bell that lets you know when I post a video. Thank you for liking the videos. And may the good Lord richly bless you. Until next time. Darlene, signing off.